Happy Saturday morning, everybody. Welcome along to Forever United TV. A morning the day before match day, and everyone should be excited about Premier League football coming back, but really we're a little bit downbeat. It doesn't seem like there is light at the end of the tunnel at all with Manchester United at the moment. When I go through everything that's going on, let's give my opinions. I've got a couple more things to read out actually, which are quite damning on the football club and where we're actually at the moment. But it does look like we're in full-on chaos mode now at Manchester United, with the ownership, with what is going on, with Sir Jim Ratcliffe battling the Glazers for power, with that not helping Manchester United at all moving forward, what we're having to do off the pitch with the staff, the playing staff, and what's coming up. We've got all of that to talk about this morning. We've got a lot more of your opinions I want to bring into this as well. But overall, when you look at the picture at Manchester United at the moment, I don't even feel like the football matters. That's the kind of feeling going around Manchester United right now. The protest that will take place on the 9th of March against Arsenal before the Arsenal game are valid. I think the fan base is just completely at an all-time low. I've never felt it so downbeat or disjointed, or it's just dejected. It's probably the best word I could probably use for it. No matter which way you look at it, maybe you try and balance what Sir Jim is doing. The new structure, yes, positive. You've heard me this season talking about it constantly. Trying to spin a positive. This team can make top four. I was laughed at, quite rightly so, because I actually seen these players for a little bit more character and a little bit more than what they're actually really showing us right now. It's pathetic. I looked at the PSR situation changing and Manchester United being in a better position, so maybe we could actually, with this new structure, then start spending money properly within our means and be a bit more productive in building a better squad to bring Manchester United success on the pitch, which will naturally bring in money to the football club. PSR changes because of the carnage which is going on with Manchester City. And then when you even look away from Manchester United and you look at what rules are changing, the ownership structures, the less debt that other clubs have got compared to Manchester United, how football clubs are run, and the catch-up that United have to do. It's like, no matter which way you look at it right now, I cannot see, with the way that football has changed, anything other than another 25 plus years before Manchester United are winning that title again. And that seems drastic, and everyone will say, well, why have you changed your tune on them all of a sudden? I thought we're looking positive. Look, United will not win the league in 2028. Not unless something drastic happens. But what we're reading right now just tells you complete to the contrary, and United in an absolute hole right now. And it's not just because of our own making, it's the way that football has gone and the way that football is going. It's like beforehand, yes, United greats, everything moves in cycles. The cycle talk is complete and utter garbage. It does not exist. It does not exist in modern day football at all. Liverpool cycle, City will have a cycle, United cycle, so on and so forth. Arsenal had a bit of a go, Chelsea had their go. It goes around and round. Bollocks. I'm sorry for swearing on a Saturday morning and upsetting your weekend. But the way you look at this right now and the way I'm looking at this right now is like, no matter what, Manchester United are we're light years behind everybody. So we all feel like we're going to catch up, we're going to put everything in place, the structure is going to take over, and United can balance the books, get rid of some prima donna players, clear the decks, do whatever you've got to do. But we are miles away from everybody else, and they're not going to stand still. There are so many clubs in a better position than Manchester United right now. All we have got and all we can hope for is that historical side of this football club, luring in certain players to be part of a new project, and that is the only thing that we can do. But I feel even that now is drifting away. Every single bit of news that we get out of the football club at the moment is a massive negative. It just fills you with dread going into the future. Whichever part of the club you look at, apart from the academy, I'm going to move that aside because that is a positive. And honestly, right now, if they said to me, the football club, and Ineos or whoever, the football club, Omar Barada came out, CEO, and said to me right now, as United fans are addressing the fan base and said, look, we are going to sell all of the players. We are going to start from scratch. We are going to be building from a younger type of player from the academy and bringing in younger players on the cheap. And we are going to build from this point here without all the big players. We're not going to challenge. We just have to go from the foundations up again regarding the squad. I'd accept it because they were open, they were honest, and they were telling us the reality, which we already all know. It's just that they won't accept it because of money. That's the problem right now. They won't accept it because they cannot see, and United cannot be seen to be being devalued to that level. So how they do it, I do not know. And what the Glazers did to this football club and the way that they're standing back now and letting Ineos take all of the shit for everything that's going on is an absolute disgrace. But there's nothing we can do about it. We're going to protest. We're going to come together as a fan base. Everybody's going to be on board with this. The message is going to be sent. The game will still go ahead. It'll still be a full sellout stadium. And United will still perform shit on the pitch. That's basically where we're at with it right now. The only hope and the only sort of shining light that I can see is the younger players that are coming through and that side of it and the structure. That is it. I don't see any other positives right now. And Manchester United, I'm going to kickstart of where we're actually at with the chaos right now and what's actually going on with Manchester United regarding off the pitch with everything. And Jamie Jackson has come out and said Manchester United sent out the following email to all staff on Friday evening. We are aware of media reports this week speculating on a number of issues relating to the club. No shit, Sherlock. We recognise that this is unsettling for you all. In terms of what has been reported, there is no further information that we can share with you at this point. However, we will hold a team briefing on Monday the 24th of February at 2:30 p.m, during which we'll be able to talk to you further. It will come as no surprise that the club must explore every option, including reducing costs and raising revenues. There are no final decisions currently. Basically, teeing up the Manchester United fans to what was reported the other day. So the media are what? When you calculate it, the media are about 5 days ahead. No, sorry, actually, no. What am I talking about? The media are nearly a week and a half, nearly 2 weeks ahead of what United are actually planning. So the chaos within the club and this being leaked out, honestly, it's laughable. It really is. And where we're actually at the moment, it is... It's sickening to see the club go to the levels where we're at right now and where it is. Again, Manchester United will hold meetings on the 24th February with staff to discuss media reports. No, basically, the media have got ahead of you, and you are going to have to come and tell the staff because everybody's panicking. There will be redundancies. There will be cuts. And there will be price hikes. We talked about Manchester United fans meeting, the FAB board meeting with Sir Jim Radcliffe this week on Thursday to explain their concerns about ticket prices rising. I just think that's going to go on deaf ears and the prices are going to go up. Everybody's going to have to take a hit at Manchester United. Look, I will wait and I will see what happens with all the players in the summer. But unless there's a mass exodus of players, and I'm talking players that are in this first team squad right now, and I really don't give a toss about any of them. I'll be honest. I'd probably hold on to the players that have just arrived because it's not fair on them and the likes of Ahmad. Everybody else, see you later. I don't care. Gone. Unless we're seeing numbers of that magnitude, then it really isn't going to hit with any Man United fan. No one's going to fall for it. Everybody has to take the hit because of the Glazers. And they're still there laughing with all their billions in their bank at home, doing absolutely nothing to help the situation, except count the money that Ineos have come in and paid them to take all of the flack away from them. It's where it is. And yeah, I've said it all many times before. I've always been very positive. I've always tried to be positive, to try and look at that side of things. But even me now, with what is going on off the pitch, even with the Premier League and City, PSR, like I've explained the last few days, it's all built up to this moment. I was in a right crap mood yesterday. Just thinking about Manchester United, talking about Manchester United, it just put me in a position where I was like, God, like there's no hope. It really feels like there is no hope. That's what it is right now, because I know we're going to get beat tomorrow by Spurs. That's what it feels like. And you know what? The result, just after everything that's happened and everything that's going on, it feels like the result on the pitch doesn't even matter. Is anyone bothered? That's what it feels like. I mean, we'll all be watching it. We'll all be supporting the team on the day. But you can't help but feel like even Spurs in their mess right now have got their ship in order better than United. Look at their facilities. Look what they can generate. Look what they're doing. I mean, it's crap, yes. And on the pitch, they're not getting it right. And they probably haven't got the best intentions football-wise right now. But still, like, they've got a stadium that they can be proud of. The training facilities they can be proud of. They're miles ahead of Manchester United off the pitch right now. Spurs. On the pitch, well, if they beat us, they're ahead of us there as well. So when we're actually saying that Spurs have got a better stadium, a better training ground, a better team in the Premier League than Manchester United, then where does that leave us? It leaves us in the doldrums. It leaves us with what we're saying right now, which we don't feel like there is any light at the end of the tunnel. Fans arguing, the club a mess, protests, ticket prices, unrest, club cuts, no signings, players on stupid amounts of money, laughing, living their life while everything else is just falling apart around them. Honestly, Spurs are a better football club than Manchester United right now, and that's a sad thing to say. It really is. And if that doesn't tell you how far this club has fallen, then I don't know what will. Like I try my best to get the positives out of everything that is going on. And again, I'll stand by it. The only positive is that little bit of news going across the bottom of your screen right there now, which is that we may see some academy players be drafted in because Ruben Amorim is unable to get the best out of the first team squad. I just want to see all of them players gone in the summer. I don't want to even watch them play football anymore. That's how it feels. And that isn't even their fault. And that's how sad and how much of a mess it is at United. But that is the chaos side of things. Also, just before I get all of your comments in on this, because it is full-on interactive mode, we have got some transfer news we're going to talk about as well at the end of the show and everything. Just to round up and looking ahead to Spurs, obviously, we'll get the embargoed version of the Ruben Amorim press conference, which should be interesting later on today. So hopefully that does give us a little bit of insight into what we might be looking at in terms of squad, because we are obviously going to be leaving quite soon, I'm guessing. So we're going to get a travelling squad update, and then we'll start figuring out who is injured. But just back on the club and where it isn't getting it right at the moment. And this was sent to me yesterday in our WhatsApp group, which says, I'm just going to read it out. Shame on you, MUFC. We have had our season tickets suspended. Why? At the Rangers game, my husband and son left at 75 on the 75th minute due to feeling unsafe. My son is 11 years old. Our season tickets are in the East Stand Upper, which was full of Rangers fans. So for his safety, my husband made the decision to leave early due to this. Once they had left, some Rangers fans moved into their seats, and it all kicked off, as we've seen, obviously. Manchester United have apparently checked the CCTV and seen that Thomas wasn't in his seat. Thomas and his dad always swap seats, so my husband sits in Thomas's seat and Thomas sits in my husband's, so Thomas is in between his dad and the family friend, so he can protect him when the United score, and fans going up, protecting the youngster in the middle. It's normal. We've had an email and an explanation on this, and asked MUFC to recheck the CCTV to prior before the fight, basically, and they will see Thomas scanning his season tickets on at the gate and sitting in his seat next to his dad. Manchester United have asked for photos from us as a family at the ground. They have seen season ticket holder of over 7 years and rarely takes a photo now. You don't, do you? Like when you're a season ticket for so long, you don't usually take pictures, do you? But for the club to why are they asking for pictures? It goes on. Thomas absolutely loves Manchester United more than anything and is extremely heartbroken, to say the least, that not only can he not be safe while watching United by them being unable to control away fans in the home stand, but also having his beloved season ticket suspended. Please share this. And that's what I was sent last night. Again, it's yet another story of Manchester United and their inabilities to run the football club properly. And that's where we're at right now. So, like I said, from top to bottom. So from fans, season ticket holders, all the way up to the top of Manchester United, it just seems a complete and utter mess right now. And I just feel like where Sir Jim Ratcliffe and Ineos probably had great intentions coming in. I think better intentions than what the Glazers had. That's all we can say. But there's nothing that Sir Jim Ratcliffe can do right now to turn Manchester United around. There really isn't. And I do believe the news that came out in the week has definitely hit them even harder than what they thought It would do. They'd have got wind of them new PSR changes and the new rule changes and their whole plan that was built in the summer about the changes coming in and giving them a bit more freedom would definitely have been part of the plan. But that changing right now and the way that all the other clubs are moving, and like I explained last night with the squad ratio rule kicking in and the new ownership situation which City won against the Premier League in terms of sponsorship deals from within the club, United are not in a position to attack that at the moment, and everybody's going to move past us. So Mission 21 is null and void. The plan for the summer is null and void, and Manchester United have to make cuts, and it has to go down them drastic lines again. Let's get into the chat and see how you're all feeling about everything. Please give the video a like. Make sure that you have got your comments in. Make sure you are subscribed to Forever United TV. We're just down the brutally honest road this morning, everybody. We're just talking about everything that's going on at the football club at the moment and where you are actually at. You got Ross with the super chat straight in. Another double-digit player, a purge in the summer for United. Anthony Rashford, Casemiro, Shaw, Garnacho, most of the under-21 squad and the players off contract. Yep, United will be making significant cuts. Quickly, just on that, we're going to get into more of your comments, but on the cuts, the Jadon Sancho transfer has been explained as well, which is Jadon Sancho's sale this summer. Obviously, this has been going around, and Sancho is topic at the moment because he is so poor, and the freedom fighter is struggling, and Chelsea fans are slaughtering him right now. Chelsea obviously being battered by Brighton last night 3-0. Second defeat in a week against Brighton away from home for Chelsea, and not looking good right there. Maresca now starting to find it difficult and feel the heat. Jadon Sancho's sale this summer for 25 million will represent a 10.4 million profit, as his remaining amortised cost will be 14.6 million at the end of the season. That's all of his contracts in play and where his contract length is at, and basically selling him then. That's how they break it down in football finance terms. His sale and wages off the books will have a positive PSR impact of 30.2 million for the next year's PSR period. So selling Jadon Sancho is going to help Manchester United dramatically, because he was one of these deals that the Glazers did under the guidance of Ed Woodward and the merry men that were working at Manchester United. And sadly, again, United have seen nothing of it. They've not reaped anything back from buying Jadon Sancho. He was awful when he was here. He's a waste of time, basically. But United absolutely got rinsed for him. But we are getting a little bit back. That's what it is. There's a little bit of it coming back for United in the summer, just to talk about that as well. But in terms of what you got Ross said there in the super chat, again, it's all around Manchester United, really. And the only way that we survive is by fleecing the squad. It's by getting rid of all of the players. I can't believe the Premier League let this happen to the biggest club in the world, says Gehan. It's like Kaz was saying to me this morning, can the government not step in? Where is this independent? Where is this independent ruling right now that we're supposed to come in? Why are we not seeing this yet? We're supposed to have an independent regulator in place by now, and this was all put in. Was supposedly set to be put in motion this year, and we're not seeing any of it. The Premier League are fighting every one of their members right now. It seems it's just utter carnage. It really is. And United are at the bottom end of it. We're going to be nowhere near competing for anything significant for a long period of time. I don't see how United feel like they can turn this around. I don't see how Mission 21 even comes into the picture right now. I really don't. I think we will win tomorrow. Playing at a proper football stadium will work wonders. They should have attempted to clear the dead under Fergie. They didn't. They did nothing. The squad isn't good enough. No manager can fix this mess unless a massive clear out happens. The clear out needs to be like just clearing the decks completely, getting rid of everyone of significance, because it's not working. Let's not forget, this squad is taking Manchester United down to their worst ever position. We're in the worst form ever, matching up with some of the worst that there's ever been at the football club. The Premier League era, we are the worst that we've ever been. I think that's 100% certain. So, the amount of years that the Premier League has been running, some 30 years is it now, I think? Something like that. This is the worst that we've ever been at Manchester United. the only way it works, the only way that Manchester United can move forward in any direction is by slaughtering that first team squad. And again, go back to what I just said. Manchester United's squad, the players, it's not their fault. It's the people that recruited them. It's the people that brought them in. They are standing their ground right now, and that's it. They don't need to move anywhere. Unfortunately for us, they're just not good enough. They're not good enough, and no one in that squad can say that they have been good enough for United. You can maybe argue Ahmad a little bit, but even he's dropped off a little bit recently. We just drag players down. We drag players down. And right now, I don't see how, because the fan base is waiting for that next mistake. The fan base is waiting for someone else to blame. There's always a culprit within a match. There's always a problem, and there's always a culprit within anything that goes on off the pitch. Right now, we want the Glazers gone. We want Ineos gone, and that's what's going around the football club. We want new owners completely. We want no debt. It's not going to happen, not going to happen, not going to happen. The players, we don't think this player is good enough. He should have been gone a long time ago. Can we get rid of him this summer? Well, the contract that the Glazers and their people that they had in place tells us no. We're going to struggle. We're going to lose more money. Even when we clear the players out, Manchester United still cannot spend a significant amount of money because of the contract and what we paid for that player. You've just seen there, Jadon Sancho entering the last year of his contract at Manchester United has got us, just about £10 million profit. £10 million profit from his wages and contract and the price we paid for him. It took us 4 years of not getting anything out of him just to try and scrape by a £10 million profit at this stage. Yeah, in PSR terms, that helps out a little bit, but let's be honest, right now it's still not significant enough because we haven't got the money that we need from that deal to go out and buy someone who is better. Right now, we're looking at bringing in academy players and younger players who are not fully developed because that's all we can afford. It's not a case of we're building up. And I like the fact that we're getting the younger players. I like the fact that we're building for the future in the squad on that side of things. But let's not kid ourselves. The only reason we are going for these players as well is because they're the only ones that we can afford. I think it was quite clear, all of the news that I was getting a little bit excited about, like with Victor Gyökeres and players like that coming in, maybe Edison, United looking at him. United have come out now and said over the last week, and I still think this is in conjunction with the PSR changes, that they're not going to go and spend 60 million on anybody who's basically 26 and above. So we're not going to get the ready-made players. We're not going to get the players that we really need right now. We're going to be building a team of prospects. And the only way that works is if they back the coach, back Ruben Amorim. And you know how trigger-happy Ineos have been before with managers at Nice and the way that they run their other sporting operations. Is no guarantee, there's definitely no guarantee that they are not going to get rid of Ruben Amorim in the future if things are not working out. Because Ruben right now has been thrown in at the deep end, as we know. The players that he has got are not capable, as we know, and we've got a very, very fractious ownership model that is running this football club right now, which is ready to pull the plug on anything, it would seem. I would say right now in this season, the only man that's safe at Manchester United is Ruben Amorim, because Ineos forced him in to the football club when he didn't want to. So I think he's the only one that's safe right now at the club. Everyone else, I don't think is safe and can go. I'm talking staff, we're talking players, we're talking everyone at the football club. There'll be the odd one, like we said, in terms of players that could possibly stay, but let's be honest, it is where we're at right now, and I don't see it. I mean, someone tell me, what is a positive right now about United apart from the academy? I'm struggling for it, and that's a lot for me to say as well, because I do try and find the good that is within it. You know this. Let's get into a few more of your comments. Sell everyone and sign 20 FUTV members and pay us 20 grand a week each. We will rise again quickly. I'm just not getting the jokes this morning. I like that comment, I really do. But I'm still just that downbeat that it's just really hard to even laugh at the moment at the situation. It really is. Man United need a 3-year project with the same coach. Change every time, and waste money in players like that one. Like not even in 10 years are gonna win nothing. Or what did I say? I reckon we're gonna be at. So where are we at now? We're at about 10 years. It's 10 going on 11 years without Premier League. No, 11 it is. Sorry. The last big one was like 26 years, wasn't it? I think we could be looking at something similar. I reckon it'd be another decade, going off the way that football is working. And you know what? It sounds a bit of a statement, but everything that's happened this week has kind of put me back another 5 years in my hope for what is going to happen at Manchester United. All I want to see now is someone making cutthroat decisions at United that relate to the desperate situation that we're in. And there is only one area you can go with. It's undoing the Glazers. If Ineos are still going to be here, which they will, if the Glazers are still going to be here, which they will, the only way United move forward, it's sad because we want the ownership model out, it's the players. Always going to be. That is the only thing that cuts Manchester United's debt down. And then we have to just deal with another few years of trying to develop a younger team, which is why I can't see United getting anywhere near the title in the period that Ineos think they're going to get. I do believe that everything that's happened this week and everything that has been put in play and the changes in the Premier League and the mess that the Premier League is in is going to absolutely bury Manchester United. And there's a real reality coming over the club right now, which is one of this club going down the doom and gloom road. It is. Ten Hag is as much to blame for the state we are in as the Jim and the Glazers. How did he sign such rubbish players? Because nobody at the club was telling him not to. And he had Murto and Arnold there, the merry men, who were just giving him everything that he wanted. That's what it was. Massive amounts of impatience right now between fans. There's a feeling things have to be done now for the better of the club. No, things do have to be done now. Otherwise, it's just going to continue. This is the point, Steve. We have to get rid of players now because the debt's going to keep on going up and up and up. Look at it. We've just lost 300 million. 300 million loss over the last 3 years. That's not sustainable. Without Sir Jim Ratcliffe's money, Manchester United would be going bust. That's the reality. Fans are not gripping what is actually happening right now. It's United. We'll be okay. We've got to... No, we've not. We really haven't. Everything is changing. The whole Premier League, football itself, it's all changing. And it's not for the benefit of Manchester United and where we're at right now. Other teams are positioned so much more... they're in so much more of a better position than what we are to attack what is coming in the future. We are a million miles behind. Absolute light years away. This toxic fan base will eventually cause the club's downfall, given the evidence of their hates and vile comments on the club, owners and players. Not really, mate, no. Don't even call the Manchester United fans toxic fan base. Let's be honest, we're the ones that are paying for everything that's happening right now. So nobody else is. So there's nothing toxic about this fan base. All we want is value for money, and we're not getting it. That's the difference. That's where we're at right now. It's got nothing to do with the fans. The fans just want to be able to enjoy the football. The fans want the football club to be able to run a game where you're not worried about where you sit in your seats. The fans want this football club to not charge you up front for a season ticket and then threaten to suspend you for a game that you've paid for because you missed a game. We don't want that. That's what we don't want. The club is what has built this toxicity which you're talking about or alluding to, not the fans. The fans just want decent football. The fans just want the football club to be run right. Is that too much to ask? That's where it's at. So no, the fans are not at fault for this. Expectations you can talk about, yes. Maybe there's the old debate about Manchester United fans feeling that they should be winning things. The God-given right to be challenging constantly. I mean, there's a lot of fans that have seen only the glory years and not seen any of the bad years. Look, I don't think United are going to be successful every single season. But the money that we're paying, the wages that the players are on, the money that is flooding out of this football club because of mistakes that were made by the football club needs highlighting. And this is what is happening right now. The club is being run into the mire, and it's being run into the gutter. That's where it's going. The stadium build and everything like that, light years away. No chance. Manchester United, if we keep on going the way we're going, it's just going to get worse and worse. And eventually, if a team like Manchester United get relegated, then you can forget about rebuilds. You can forget about future plans. You can forget about new stadiums and things like this. It's not going to happen. We'll be just into the wilderness, the football wilderness. And there's only certain people that are still going to be here, and that'll be us, the fans. So it's not the fan base. It's definitely not. I think things will change. I don't think things will change until Amorim's gone. Jay, really? They have not turned us into a debt machine either, so Liverpool fans should be thankful for that. Yeah, like I said, even Liverpool fans, with what they're moaning about on their ownership right now, it just falls into complete insignificance compared to what United are in. 62 million a year on debt repayments to player every year. You add that up over the years that they've been in charge and how much that is altogether. That tells you everything. Match attendance rule is to stop fans protesting. Dirty trick, in my opinion. Let's see what else we've got. Unfortunately, Everton will have a new stadium before we do. Yeah, Everton will probably be in a better place than Manchester United soon enough. Their new ownership coming in, new stadium, better revenues. Again, everybody just seems to be just walking past United because we just stayed still. Nobody's had to do mega. No one's had to do mega things to go past Manchester United. Like, yeah, you could say that Chelsea and City have jumped the gun a little bit in what they've done, and now they've been run with their ownership models. But Aston Villa have walked past us. Everton, Spurs, Everton, Spurs, Newcastle. All these teams are just walking past us, even without what they had in terms of ownership. It's like Nottingham Forest right now. They're a million miles ahead of Manchester United. How has that happened? Look, there is your reality right now. We cannot compete with teams like Brighton and Nottingham Forest. How has that happened? How we got to that level? It's ridiculous. Without Ineos, the Glazers would have had to sell the club. Now the Glazers will never pay off their debts. The Glazers are very, very clever businessmen, Ben. Very clever. And they knew what they were doing. They knew what they were doing. They seen Ineos coming and they took advantage of it. They really did. And it has helped them stay in power. It has helped them. You're right about that, but they were never going to sell Manchester United. They were never, ever going to sell them. It is a scary, scary thought that the Glazers could still be here laughing at us for all of these years to come. Because I think they will be. I don't know when they're going to go. I don't know how Ineos get them out. Maybe leveraging the stadium, like we've said, later years down the line. But right now, there is no chance that we're going to see the back of the Glazers before 2030, at least, I don't think. That's just my opinion on that. I'm just looking at everything the way it is. I don't know. Maybe the fall has to come and we have to just drop to a certain level for people to leave and things to change. But I said it before, like the only people that are going to suffer in all of this eventually is just the fans. The players will go on to new clubs. So Jim Radcliffe won't be bothered. He'll just go and find something else, a new project. The Glazers will go and just do whatever they want, carry on doing what they're doing in America and the NFL, go and find another project to buy into, and we'll be stuck with what we've got. It's crazy. I bumped into Dwight York yesterday in Dubai. Lovely fella. He was gutted about the state of United. To every single Manchester United former player or anyone who used to be part of the football club looks at United right now and scratches their head and goes, wow, how? What is going on? Please give the video a like, everybody, as well. Get your comments in. We're getting through as many as we can. Make sure you have subscribed to Forever United TV as well, people. Thank you for joining us on the show. Saturday morning, we're supposed to be building up and getting excited about Manchester United going forward into the game against Spurs this weekend. Do we have any chance against Spurs, everybody? I know Spurs are Spurs right now, but it still doesn't look that good, does it, for United? Spurs have got players coming back. United have got players dropping out. We will find out probably later today not just through the embargoed version of the press conference, but also through the travelling squad to Tottenham, who the other players are that are injured that Ruben Amorim was talking about yesterday. So, yeah, let's just wait and see what happens with that later on as well. But Chido Obi-Martin is looking more and more likely to be in Manchester United's squad for the Tottenham game. More and more reports have come out. Academy Scoop Online has said the prospect of Chido Obi-Martin being called up to the Manchester United first team squad for the game against Tottenham appears increasingly plausible. More people talking yesterday about the players that Ruben Amorim had called up to the first team squad from the academy. The rumours are that they were the likes of... what we're talking now. We're talking Chido Obi-Martin. We were talking about Godwill Kakonke. We're talking about the goalkeeping situation as well, but one that didn't actually come up. I mean, Manchester United spent a lot of money on academy players in the summer, like Kone. He's another player apparently that has had game time or training time with United's first team, but United spent a lot of money on who we know about, like Kone, Chido Obi-Martin, but we also bought in James Overy. We brought in Samuel Lascelles as well. He's another player that could still make his mark. Hasn't really hit the ground running. Like James Overy has only just started playing for Manchester United's academy. So, again, I want to just keep on ploughing into the positive of the academy and what's actually going on there. And you know what? That is something that we can actually look at and go, right, we've got a little bit of hope going into the future. Like we've said, we've talked about it this week as well. It is good and it is exciting to see it. Manchester United are seriously scouting the Portugal league, the Portuguese league, with Rodrigo Moura being more of one of their top targets. Ruben Amorim wanted him at Sporting at only 15. He knows the player well and now wants him as part of the new Manchester United this summer. The new Manchester United, God, that's reports coming over from Portugal. I said it yesterday, but like, it's good and all well. There is a buyout clause in his contract, but let's be honest, when you're up against Real Madrid and the state we're in right now, then you've got to fear that we're going to lose out to certain players as well. They're going to want to go and play Champions League football. Victor Gyökeres in that story from The Athletic in the week, that's a bit of a concern as well. Just where United are actually at is hampering us now, attracting players as well. Because where Ineos' project and United going for the younger players is great, it's going to be hit by a bigger brick wall because these players now want and see other clubs as a better opportunity for them. They look at Manchester United and go, look at the amount of players that have gone there and have fallen. You are bound to look at it that way, aren't you? You're bound to. Multiple reports are reporting that Manchester United are heavily involved in signing Rodrigo Moura and Giovanni Quenda at Manchester United. Again, that report going into attacking the Portuguese league and what is coming, the best young talent around. I'm all for these types of players coming in. I'm all for Manchester United finding the best talent out there. But again, it just goes down the road of how can these players develop when there is such a fractious squad within Manchester United right now? All of this is good. I like the talk. I like the transfers coming in. I like the prospects. I like the future look of Manchester United. But it cannot be... You cannot forget about what is here right now. And until players leave, it isn't going to make one shred of difference. You have to completely rip up what is at Manchester United now to stand any chance. Because the bad blood and everything that is still around Manchester United and the players that are failing constantly in front of the home fans at Old Trafford, just as an example, is still going to be there. This team needs to be developed together completely from scratch. And something new needs to start. Otherwise, it's just not going to happen. Anything that was there from before, look, above the manager, at board level, across the board, across Manchester United, everything has changed. Everybody has gone. And this new system is in place, but it's not working. Why? Because you've still got the same products on the pitch. The players are there. They're not going to change. Their capabilities are not going to change. They're not going to get any better. Ruben Amorim has tried, and they've failed even more. It's even worse than what it was before because we're trying to change it. The only way that Manchester United move forward is a complete restructure from scratch. And that's players that haven't got all of them bad attributes and bad blood still in from the failings of Manchester United over the last few years. These players just aren't good enough to be in a Manchester United shirt. And until they are gone and new players are in and they're all starting and being built together, it's just not going to work. I'm scared for Robbie Martin, for Chidowabe. I am. I'm petrified because he's coming into a big pile of shit. I'm scared for any academy player coming through right now. Whereas I love the thought of it happening, I'm just worried about what is going to happen to them. Look at Garnacho. Look at Kobbie Mainoo. Look what happened to Scott McTominay. Look what happened to Marcus Rashford. How this club has run and brought through these academy players over the years. And what's happened to them. It's just been in pure desperation. It really has. And I understand that now it is different. It's football focused and everything is changing. It's not all about the commercial part of the football club. Yes, all good. But we've fallen so far behind that it is now practically impossible to catch up just by making simple transfers and bringing in players that will actually be better than what we've got on paper. There has to be a look at a football team to be built and moulded together rather than certain individuals coming in. Until we have got, it's like next season, for instance, if Manchester United walk out onto that pitch with, let's just say, 6 of the current first team squads that we're seeing week in, week out now. If there's 6 players there, and you could say, look, 5 changes, that's half a team. That should be a big difference. We'll still fail. It's simple, because the players that we're bringing in are not old enough and don't have the right character yet. That has to be built. But unless we are walking out onto that pitch next season with probably 7 or 8 new players, completely new players that haven't been here at the football club. There can be some of the players that have been brought in this season. Like, I don't mind Mazraoui. I don't mind Manuel Ugarte. Amad Diallo. I think they're the players right now. I think you could say De Ligt's a good squad player. I think he's a good professional. I'm scraping the barrel really right now in terms of where United need to be. Let's not forget, every single one of these players in this squad has contributed to Manchester United sitting in 13th with the prospect of finishing 16th at the end of this weekend. So really we should be saying we don't give a shit about any of them and they can all go. But unless United are walking out next season in that first game with a completely different look team, I'm talking about 7 or 8 players on that pitch, it's just going to be the same. It's just going to be the same. If a professional footballer cannot grasp what a coach wants from him within 2 months, then there is no hope. I'm sorry. There is no hope. Even a pre-season with Ruben Amorim right now and these players that are still at Manchester United, they're not going to grasp it. They haven't been able to. It's not going to work for Manchester United. It needs new blood. It needs players that know nothing else but what Ruben Amorim wants and are willing to give everything to him. It's like there's a quote that's just come out regarding this is the type of player that Manchester United need, by the way, in terms of Amad Diallo and what's been said. Scott Arfield, who used to play at Rangers with Amad Diallo. Amad had one of the best attributes you could have as a professional footballer, being the best trainer every day. He was a monster every single day with his quality and his work rate in training and on the pitch. It's literally, when you look at it that way, with his attitude and what he's gone through at Manchester United, how he's been panned off to other football clubs and everything. Realistically, when you look at it, I think he's the only one, isn't he? He's the only player. He's the only one this season that's shown any sort of professionalism. Man, what professional level Amad Diallo is actually at. Do you know what? Credit to Amad Diallo. Absolute massive credit to that boy. Because he has been moved everywhere at Manchester United. His contract was about to run out. He was thrown in the gutter by Erik Ten Hag, even having been the best player, because Ten Hag had his favourite players. And you've got to look at it and go, Amad right now is what you would expect at Manchester United. But I'm looking through the rest of the team, and just in my head's just ticking over now. He's the only player there, I think, that is actually professional enough to wear a Manchester United shirt. He is. Like, there are other players that are there, and obviously you would bring other players on, but the task in front of him right now of all the other players there, like Manuel Ugarte, for instance, I think him, Ahmad, what you've got to look at is I think their application. You can talk about Bruno Fernandes. I think Bruno Fernandes' time is over at Manchester United in a couple of years anyway, so he kind of falls out of the conversation completely. If we were going to sell Bruno Fernandes, it should have been last summer. He's not going to be sold right now, I don't think. He's a professional. He's very professional, and he gives absolutely everything. His decision-making and everything like that, we've always questioned anyway, and that is debatable. And he does need to be looked past. We need to be moving past Bruno Fernandes. I get that, but when you look at it, Ahmad, you look at Chidowabe, players like this now, younger players coming through. You would hope Kobbie Mainoo, you would hope Garnacho, but even Garnacho's picked up some bad traits as well. Like it's just anything that was going on at Manchester United before Ruben Amorim just seems to have got a hold of these players, and we're just stopping them moving forward. It's like Marcus Rashford will see a completely different football club in Aston Villa right now, and you hope that it does him well. You hope that he grasps that with two hands and goes for it. Same with Anthony, what he's doing right now. There are different football clubs and different professional levels, I think, and Manchester United are in one of the biggest football clubs in the world, are an absolute embarrassment to the football world right now. How we've let these players just do what they want. It is embarrassing. I think the biggest obstacle to a full sale was and will always be the two-class share structure. Anything offered to the Glazers has to be offered to the New York Stock Exchange at a massive premium with no extra power. Clever businessmen who have made a fortune out of Manchester United while the club has been in demise through their ownership. It really has. And I say it again, Manchester United will be okay if the football is okay. That's it. That's the only way. That is the only way. But someone tell me how long it is going to be before we actually see decent football on the pitch and United challenging again. United need to be competing in the latter stages of the Champions League. The only way that teams like Barcelona and Real Madrid get away with what they do, Bayern Munich and what they do, like they're constantly competing every single season. You cannot afford to drop off for one season. United are going to be out of the Champions League for the first time in the Champions League format history, and in fact since the Premier League started. 92, 93. Obviously, it was just Europe. It was the European Cup back then, wasn't it? Champions League wasn't a format. Since the Champions League came in, as in the Champions League, this will be the first time United would have had 2 consecutive seasons out of the competition. And this right now would be, I think, the second season in the club's history in the Premier League where we've not been in Europe at all. The first one was, Louis van Gaal, I think it was. After David Moyes' season. Wow. Nah. Anyway, that is pretty much where we're at with everything right now. Spurs, anyway. We'll see what the squad is later. I'll be back later. I'm hoping for some positive news. I'm going to go and watch my son play football now. And hopefully try and cheer myself up. But everything I look at with United at the moment, we hope and pray. That is it, really. That was a brutally honest live stream to start off your weekend. Really appreciate you all hanging on in there with that one. Some of your comments have been bang on the money, but get your comments in on the comments below. I'll have a look at a few of them while the day's going on. Just be brutal with it and tell me where you see Manchester United. Where will we be when Mission 21 is supposed to come to fruition? Where will United be? Tell me. Get into the comments below, everybody. Mods and members, everybody in the chat, thank you. Thank you for all the contributions, everybody. I will see you all later on this evening after the football is finished today. A bit more of a later show again. And yeah, let's see what today brings for us all, eh? But for now, that is it, everyone. Thank you so much. I'll see you all later.